Hi, welcome back to the channel. This week we're covering a topic that Shep has actually done previously. So full shout out to him. I'll obviously leave a link to that video in the description. And that is using a device called Feedback Network to generate Atmos. Now there are a few reasons why I'm covering this again. One, because it is such an amazing technique, I thought I might remind people of it. Secondly, there might be people out there not aware of this technique. And thirdly, because if you're looking at the comments of his video, it's clear people have quite some difficulty finding this device. Here it is on screen. Like I said, the link is in the description. As you can see, I'm currently logged in guest mode, but if I was logged into my Ableton account, then somewhere around here you would see download. And as you can see, it comes with 47 Max devices. The one we need is called Feedback Network. Right, so now with the admin out the way, let's go and have a look at how it works. So the first thing we need to do, obviously, is add our Feedback Network down here. And then the next thing, and this is incredibly important, and I emphasize that, we need to add a limiter. Audio effects, a limiter. And if you're currently singing Rage Against the Machine, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, trust me, put the limiter in. Now the next thing, we need to add a audio source. Now it doesn't really matter what it is. In fact, experiment with it. All you really need is an exciter. And by that, it's something just to trigger the feedback network. So here, let's just go with analog. Let's drop that in. And we'll just keep oscillator 1 on, oscillator 1 being a saw wave. When we turn feedback network on, it will create 5 feedback lines based on that signal. And if you don't know what a feedback path is, just imagine a delay feeding back on itself, which feeds back on itself, which feeds back on itself continuously. And as you might imagine, that continuous feedback creates that horrendous noise. You know the sound when someone has a guitar or a mic too close to a speaker. You get that really high-pitched, shrill, terrible sound. That's what this feedback network is doing. But when we add effects and a reverb after it, then we get some just glorious, magical sounds. And you can hear now it's just going to ring out until the end of time. Even with the transfer off, let's mute that. Now at the moment, that isn't very useful at all, but what we need to do next is add a delay. In this case, I'm going to add Valhalla Shimmer. And now when we turn it on, we have some absolutely lovely Atmos. And this will always sound different. Let's just take some of those lows out. Let's put an EQ on. As you can hear, not all of it sounds good. There's sometimes some distortion in there and some crackles that you don't want. So the idea is to render out or record out quite a lengthy portion, and then you cherry pick the best bits. But where it really starts to shine is adding additional effects after Feedback Network. Shep added a vocoder. So let's do that first as well. There's other ones I like to use also, but let's try vocoder first. Pitch tracking. Turn the depth up. Really cool. Let's turn vocoder off and we'll use Corpus instead. Let's put that there. You can hear how much that changes it. And we're into this kind of eerie, spooky texture now. Really cool. Can have so much fun with this. And then the other one that I like is if we go into EQ8 and then we'll choose format and then we'll choose one of these vowels. So let's go OE, for example. Let's just experiment is the point. Feedback network on. And now we've got this talking kind of ghost kind of thing going on. Pop is before that. It's so much fun to play with. So like I said, not all of it will work. Some will sound better than others. So set up your chain. So feedback network, then whatever effects chain you want after that. And then record out whatever, 16 bars, 32 bars, whatever you want. And then cherry pick the best bits. I would recommend when recording it out, turn your reverb off or bypass your reverb. Because then when you dump it into your track, when you feed it into your sender or however you want, or however you work, then you've got the track reverb rather than the one on this chain, if that makes sense. Essentially, render it out dry and then use the feedback from the track to overlay on it. As always, don't be afraid to experiment. That's how you get the most amazing sounds. Just throw whatever effects you want in here. Massive shout out to Shep for showing this technique initially. And I reiterate, you must put a limiter on the end. Unless, of course, you don't value your speakers or your hearing. But I'll leave that decision up to you. Thanks for watching, and I'm back next week with something else. We'll see you then. Bye.